So good morning, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and ladies and gentlemen. It's truly an honor to be here in Riyadh for the second year in a row, this time for the Saudi edition of the Social Football Summit, which is organized in collaboration with Lega Serie A on the occasion of the Italian Supercup. Allow me to briefly introduce myself. I am Cristina Guida Lalicata and I'm your presenter today. Moreover, I'm an emotional intelligence trainer. I'm a leadership trainer, a communication consultant, and also a published author. It's an honor for me to be here today to highlight the dynamic relationship between Italy and Saudi Arabia through the global lens of football. The theme of today's summit is Italy and Saudi Arabia in the globalization process of football, which reflects not only the internalization of the sport, but also the broader vision of collaboration, cultural exchange, mutual growth in the regions where football continues to flourish. A quick note before we start. All the panels today will be conducted in English, but we have simultaneous translation in Italian. Now, without further ado, I want to officially begin the session, and it is my pleasure to invite to the stage His Excellency Carlo Baldocci, the Italian ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to address us today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good morning. His Excellency, the Deputy Minister of Sport, Presidente Simonelli. It's a great pleasure to be here today to open this very important set of panel, which will be very, very interesting. I think the title already says a lot. I will be very short because there is a lot to say during the morning, so I will not take too much of your time. I just want to tell you that talking about globalization process in football is absolutely crucial in this moment. And this is for three reasons. The first, we've been experiencing these days a strong Italian presence in Riyadh to celebrate a significant event of football. Actually, we are very proud to be here as the first international significant event after Saudi got the victory for having the World Cup in 2034. So this is we are very proud of this, and I will praise Saudi for being successful in that event. Thank you very much. Let me just remind that another year before 2034, 1934, the World Cup was in Italy, in Rome, and Italy won the World Cup that time. So now it's your turn, and we want to partner with you on this, and we are sure that you will do absolutely your best on that. So this is part of the globalization process, no doubt. The fact that Italy and Saudi are moving together on this specific activity is crucial, is very important, and we will have a lot more on that. And this is the first concept I wanted to mention. The second is that to have globalization, you need countries that are capable of creating the frame for globalization. And Saudi is booming very, very fast, is moving, as everybody has seen in these days, coming here from Italy, on a very fast track. You are doing a great job. Vision 24 has done already a lot and will continue to deliver Vision 2030, will continue to do a lot for this country, and Italy wants to be part of this process in the future till 2030 and even further, of course, to that. So this will be very, very crucial for our relations, and I'm sure we will succeed together in creating an even stronger frame of collaboration in all sectors. Sport is a part of the game. Sport is crucial because sport is entertainment, is creating values, is creating respect, is to give a specific set of capacities to people and also to develop economies. We will talk later on about tourism, about other activities, so there will be plenty of things that through sport to football will be achieved in this country and at global level. So thank you very much for that. Third point I want to mention, we are very proud as Embassy of Italy to be here today for this event because To us, this means a lot in terms of sport diplomacy. We believe, and this is something that our foreign minister started recently in the past months, that we need to be very strongly active in sport diplomacy, because sport creates bridge, and we can say very clearly that in these days that part of the bridge between Italy and Saudi is football. So thank you very much. I wish you a splendid day of work today. I wish you to enjoy tonight a beautiful match, and let's enjoy this summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to introduce to the stage Mr. Abdulrahman Justenia, Deputy Minister of Strategic Planning and Investment, Ministry of Sport. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's a great pleasure to be here with you today. It's a very special day, as His Excellency said, that you visit us after winning the World Cup for 2034. A lot is going on in the sport in Saudi Arabia. Saudi has embedded their position globally through the development happening in sports and through many other fronts. One of them is the big leap that happened in sport, as you can see. Through the support from His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, the direct supervision of the leadership, His Royal Highness, the Minister of Sport, we're making big leaps in the sport sector overall, and especially in football. Football and sports in general is a big part of our Vision 2030, as you might know. It contributes to the quality of life, it contributes to the economy, diplomacy, as His Excellency said as well. It also includes a lot of economical parts as well. So it's a great pleasure to be here today with you. We're happy to have you all here around, and I think it will be a productive day for everyone. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. And now it's my honor to invite Mr. Ezio Maria Simonelli, President of Lega Serie A. Thank you.
Good morning, and also from my side, welcome forum, and happy to be here to introduce this interesting meeting, and proud to represent Italian Serie A League in this event. It's my first time as president, because I've been just appointed, but I'm very honored to be here for my first time. I will remember for all my life this occasion, so thank you very much for this. This meeting, I think that, as the ambassador said, is a concrete demonstration that football can be a great bridge of connection between countries, and above all, between countries apparently so far away. I don't mean wholly for the geographic distance, but apparently we are different from tradition, we are different from habits, we are different from custom, but we are so close as a mentality of welcome, of hospitality for people, for the willingness to grow up together. So this is a thing really accumulated Italy and Saudi Arabia. All those who asked me in Italy, why the Serie A League decide to carry out these finals abroad, and why did you decide to carry out in Saudi Arabia? And I say, the answer is easy. The football is a great vehicle for union between people, and this meeting is a concrete proof that with football and behind football, we can establish important business relations and develop a mutual business opportunity. By the way, since we are here for a final of football, I want, first of all, to congratulate with the two finalist team, AC Milan and Inter Milan, but also wants to congratulate with the other two semi-finalists, Juventus and Atalanta. That was only unfortunate, but there was two of the best teams that we have in Italy. So you had the chance to see really the four better teams that we can offer. This, we cannot choose which kind of team to send, but this year you have been very, very, very lucky, because, as you know, Inter and Atalanta. Inter was the previous champion of the Italian Championship. Atalanta was the winner of Europa League. Juventus and Milan, you know, that are the team with the most fan base here. So we are very happy for you and also for us to have this sport team here for the EA Cup. And also, I want to take this occasion to thank all our people of Serie A, starting from CEO Luigi De Siervo, and for their perfect organization. And I want to send also a special thanks to the skill and the competence of our local partner, Sela, and to all our sponsors, starting from our main sponsor, EA, and to all other sponsors who have contributed to the success of these events. Personally, I can say that my takeaway from these events is not only to have understood that this country is growing a lot and not understood that this something is at the avant-garde for technological reasons, for everything, but also I discovered a wonderful country with wonderful landscape, with wonderful tradition. I can mention Halula, that is something that everybody in the world would like to see, but I can also mention the edge of the world where I've been yesterday, with breathtaking views, with just 1 hour drive from Riyadh. So they are really very, very nice. I don't want to forget about your wonderful beach on the sea, Red Sea, that have nothing to invite to the best beach in the world. We have Sardinia that is more similar, but like Maldives. So many people, I really think that in the future, thanks also to football, thanks also to these events, many people in Europe and Italy, of course, will discover Saudi Arabia. And I think that the next coming here will be really the place to be. So congratulations for your initiative. So I don't want to take any more time to this meeting. The topics covered, as you see in this business forum, are very important and interesting, and will be treated by speakers of excellence in front of an equally excellent qualified audience like you are. I'm sure that we will come out from this forum with many ideas to carry forward in the near future for mutual interest and especially for interest of Italy and Saudi Arabia. So I just have to wish you a good and profitable work, and I really hope to meet you here next year to discuss not only what we can do, but what we have done to this year. So this is my trust for the next year. So thank you, and now it's time to work. Thank you.
Only 1 second, we'll prepare the stage for the first panel session. Thank you very much. So for the first panel session, I would like to invite to the stage Mr. Romy Guy, Chief Business Officer, FIFA. Thank you. He has the mic already. Hi, Romy. Okay. Technical issues as always. How are you, Romy? Does it work?
It doesn't work.
Okay. The mic of Romy doesn't work. Can you guys fix
yes.
it? Okay,
Good morning,
wonderful.
everybody. Thank you for being here today with us. Thank you to you, Christina.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Romy. So a few questions for you. We're going to discuss what's next between the two countries, Italy and Saudi Arabia. So the first question I would like to ask is the following. How do you view Saudi Arabia's approach to hosting major events in the coming years, and what impact do you believe this will have on the global football ecosystem? Do you want to give us a bit of an overview about this?
Well, yes, I guess that it's easy to say that Saudi Arabia proved themselves already quite a lot. They are becoming a natural destination for global events at any level, from Formula One to football, and many others are yet
Formula
to come.
E as well.
Yeah, sure. and many others are yet to come. We need to remember that before the World Cup in 2034, they will host here in 27 the Asian Cup. They will have the Winter Games in 29 for Asia. They will have the Expo in 2030. They will have the Summer Asian Games, and then finally the World Cup. So
Such a great path ahead.
there is a journey in front of the country that is absolutely amazing,
Wonderful.
unique. MotoGP will land soon in the country when the new track in Qiddiya will be ready. Formula One is already well established.
Yeah.
I guess that Saudi Arabia is becoming more and more one of the key destinations globally for hosting a global event. This is clearly part of the Vision 2030 that being launched a few years ago with the idea to show the beauties of the country to the world, to understand the differences between this country and others, but I want to come back on this in a while, and also to probably identify new source of revenues, to diversify the economy of the country looking forward to the next years. But I would like to highlight briefly what I just mentioned about diversity. I remember when I first met Prince Abdulaziz, the current sport minister, a few years ago. He was not yet in his position. He was the deputy of the minister. And was the first time we met was 6 years ago, I guess. And he told me the key for us, the Saudi, to succeed in our journey, in our vision, is to understand the differences that clearly exist between the local culture and the West culture, and to live together. And I guess that these words remain in my mind, and I always remember to myself every day, because the more we understand each other, the easier it is to take profit of the beauty of the country, to grow together understanding these differences, because at the end, differences allow us to grow, to learn, because we need to don't stop learning.
But also they create unicity, right?
And
because when you're
they create
then
new opportunities, and what they are delivering every day. In these days, there is also the Paris-Dakar, one of the most famous car competition that is running.
Yeah.
It's full of amazing opportunity.
And how do you see football for Saudi Arabia
Football
in all
is
this?
clearly one of the key topics of this journey. You know, football has a uniqueness that is probably the only common language that we have globally. Worldwide, I can testify this because I'm traveling all around the world every week, and I can see that football is considered part of its own culture by every country of the world. It is quite unique. Everybody sees football is mine. And everywhere you go, you feel and you meet people that say, football is mine. There is nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And here particularly, we know the passion we know how hard they support their clubs. They show it clearly with inviting big stars joining the league. We have Ronaldo, Neymar, and Benzema, many other big stars. Some very good coach, like one Italian coach like Pioli that is now coaching here. So I guess that it's a natural destination. The passion here go back in the decades. They start playing here regularly football back in the 50s of last century. So they know the passion, they know everything, and they are part of our family, clearly.
I have just one last question for you, Romy. It's about the strategic priorities the two countries, Italy and Saudi, you think they should actually take on to continue this relationship, to grow in football?
Well, we need to remember that the Italian Supercup that we are playing tonight was the very first official event brought to this country back in 2018. It was the first time ever that an official trophy was held in this country. So they show our, let's say, how they believe to Italy, inviting Italy to play this competition for the first time, that now is here since quite a lot. And looking at how many fans are normally coming attending our matches here, it shows that the passion is there. There is a lot of fans for all the Italian clubs because there is a long history clearly behind that.
Yeah.
And the better answer to your question is to see tonight the stadium sold out.
Okay, which I believe is going to be definitely, because the passion that lies
And
for
finally,
this
because I
country.
forgot before, I would like to highlight one point that is very relevant. It is women football.
Yeah,
Women football in this country grow in a way that you cannot imagine. There are now more than 7,000 girls that are playing regularly football. They are at the third season of the league.
yeah.
They have well-established national team, not only the senior one, but also the junior one. So the job that the Federation and the Sport Minister is doing here to promote women football and women's sport in general is unbelievable.
And I would say gender equality, because it's amazing what Saudi Arabia actually is doing.
This is part of the sustainability,
Exactly,
of the gender
inclusivity
equality,
program.
inclusivity program that is part clearly of the Vision 2030.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And
Romy.
enjoy the day. Enjoy the final tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. Now I need an extra chair, please. 2 more chairs, actually. And the next session is about sport tourism and major events and opportunity and impact of football competition. And I'd like to invite to the stage Mr. Ibrahim Al-Kaba, Deputy General Secretary from the Saudi Arabian Football Federation. Thank you for being with us. Then Mr. Lalit Kayat, Executive Director of Strategy and PMO, Mark Sports Academy. Thank you and welcome. And Mr. Mohammed Basrawi, General Manager, Marketing and Communication and Content, Saudi Pro League. Good morning and thank you very much for being with us. The microphone, they're all switched on, right?
Yes, apparently they are.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for being with us. So the first question is for Mr. Al-Kaba. Sports tourism is becoming a key pillar of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. How is Saudi Arabian Football Federation leveraging football and other major sports in event to attract international visitors more and more to the country, which is becoming a true global sports destination?
First of all, allow me to extend my great pleasure and gratitude to everyone here in the room. You know, it's such a pleasure to be such among, you know, amazing group of individuals from all around the world. Obviously, you know, today we're here discussing football and sports in general. And before tonight's epic derby, where the red faces blue, you know, I'm sort of towards the blue, but towards the Azori side. See,
Okay.
I see the Italians over there looking at me. So going back to your question, you know, since the launch of the nation's vision back in 2016, our country has changed, or every single individual and every single sector has changed into this robust engine in order to achieve this vision.
Yeah.
Sports and tourism go together, line in line together. And we are so proud in the Saudi Arabian Football Federation of how football specifically has grown during the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Having these or such summits, meeting such amazing new people from different parts of the world, you know, it really puts this into stone, and you know, it magnifies the way we reach out to people. As my dear friend Romy mentioned, you know, it's an international language. Wherever you go around the world, you can just open the topic of football and
And everybody will say something, right?
Everybody, exactly. The same as the eyebrows when I said blue just now. See? So going on, and it's a matter of communication with everyone. It's a matter of how the country is opening up towards the global landscape and inviting everyone from around the globe to witness Saudi themselves and see for themselves our culture and how we love to host individuals from different parts of the globe. But it's not just about tourism itself. It's also about economic factors and
Of
the
course.
people. You know, we hosted about 100 or more than 150 sporting events across 40 sports since 2018. And you know, this opens up opportunities for economic growth, for job opportunities for everyone living in Saudi Arabia. And we go to the also most important part where Romy touched upon and where FIFA and SAF believe in, and the whole footballing community. You know, we are always here in solidarity. We strive towards growing this sport together as one community, as individuals loving football, and that's the main target for us in Saudi Arabian Football Federation.
And it's so beautiful to see, as Romy also was saying, the inclusion, right, between all the cultures together. And Saudi is doing really an amazing job, not just for football, but across all sports, as you just said.
Without any doubt, you know, it's inclusion, diversity. It's not just for men, it's for women, it's for boys, it's
Exactly.
for girls. I have, you know,
Any age.
any age group, without any doubt.
Exactly.
Going back a bit, I remember about 2 years ago when we first launched tryouts for girls in our regional training centers. We assumed that we would have a couple of thousand applicants, but we were astonished where the applicants reached to around 54,000 girls just to go into tryouts. So the demand is there.
Yeah.
These young women really want to participate and play football. They love this game, and this specific game runs in our blood really as Saudis.
Exactly. Thank you so much. This actually is a very nice bridge to Mass Sports Academy, because I think it's really good if you can give us an overview about what the Academy is actually doing in Saudi Arabia to nurture the young talent of football in premise.
So, hello everybody. Thank you for having me here. At Mass Sports Academy, we're a national sports academy that is striving and committed to nurturing young talents from ages 12 to 18. This is our development phase. We follow the FTEM model. Our talent identification phase is from 8 to 12. And then we have our transitional period from 18 plus. We focus on 5 sports, football, of course, athletics, judo, taekwondo, and handball, sorry.
Okay. And how do you ensure the growth of your young talents throughout this journey?
So we want to give them the 360 approach. So we built a school at our premise. We already had a building. We converted it into a school. We wanted to have it as a boarding school. So the nutrition, the medical, the training, everything happens on premise, where they're focused on athleticism.
Because Saudi is a big country, so you have people actually coming
Yes.
from all over the country,
Yes.
right?
So the idea is to bring them all, like
To bring
you said.
them,
Yes.
exactly. And how do you ensure the equal opportunities also for talent discovery in the country, being Saudi Arabia so vast?
Yes, we have 3 layers of filtration. Our first layer, we have a program called Tamheed, where we use the teachers. We train them how to do our scouting for us and scanning. They scan for anthropometric measures and different movements. We're also working on an AI program where anybody in the kingdom can download the program on their smartphone and do specific motions where it captures it, and then we gather this information where we can choose a pool of potential talents. Our second level, we have a filtration. We have a program called Takween, where in our next program, we're opening 16 regional centers around the kingdom, where it's an after-school program to train them on the basic motor skills and give them the fundamentals of sports. We also have, after that, we're working on a program, an AI scouting program, where it does motion capture for full contact sports like football,
Football, yeah.
where we get to choose the best of the best. Of course, this is going to happen through touring the kingdom.
That's fantastic. And just one last question. How do you collaborate between the local clubs and the international organizations?
We have our local partnerships with the local clubs, but we are committed to give our talents the most exposure and the most experience by sending them through three programs, or two programs. We have our scholarship program, where we want to send our talents to international clubs around the world, where they get to experience a full season of football in an international club. And then we have our internships, where we send them on a minimum of 1 month. And this happens not just only to the talents, also to our Saudi coaches, so they can get that exposure and experience from international clubs and organizations.
Thank you very much. And
Most welcome.
discussing the international clubs for the Saudi Pro League, Mr. Basrawi, it's another great opportunity, right, to engage between the Saudi and international company. What is Saudi Pro League doing in this regard?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to the commercial program and what we're doing with other leagues in general, I think the relationships has been fantastic with the leagues, and even the commercial program inside the league is changing drastically. Our aim is to basically create a robust commercial program inside the league, and we've been signing contracts with international companies, maybe most recently with TikTok, and more to come. But yes, the league is opening up. Commercially, we're getting more mature. The past couple of seasons has been a transformational journey for the league, and I hope everyone has started to see the results actually of that. And yeah, this is more or less what we're trying to do on the commercial front in terms of collaborations. Now we're open to international markets. The league is viewed, excuse me, in 160 countries now, and we're open for collaborations. We consistently go visit other leagues, visit other partners. We're in the cutting edge of when it comes to technology. We're trying to incorporate the latest and greatest when it comes into sports science and technology, commercially and otherwise, even the performance side.
Exactly. So it's not just a sporting phenomenon, but it's actually a soft power, right? So how do you see, what's your view on the fact that Saudi Arabia is really using sports to enhance the global image and building all these international relationships?
Well, that's an interesting question, honestly. I mean, we are a football-loving nation, first and foremost, and soft
At
power.
heart, yeah.
So soft power could be organic. Look, the Italian Supercup is here.
Yeah.
What is it doing? So we are a football-loving nation, first and foremost, and this project is about the people first, the Saudi people, because the passion is there. I think Romy touched upon the history of the league here in football in Saudi. We have clubs are nearing 100 years now. Al-Ittihad was founded in 1927, and the league is 50 years old now. And even before the league, we had the regional competition even before that. So the history of football spans at least 70 years, if not more. And definitely we have the passion for the game, and we have a good quality product, always been a good quality product. And now it's a matter of showcasing that product globally. And if soft power comes organically with it, so be it. But the focus definitely is to genuinely grow the sport, improve the quality of the product locally, and then internationally will come.
Will come automatically, yeah.
Absolutely, because we talk about football being its own culture globally. So if I have a good product, it will spread.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. It was a pleasure to have you on stage with us today. So thank you very much. An applause for them. Thank you. Now we move to the next, please. Thank you. To the next panel session, and I would like to invite Mr. Abdallah Magram, Director of the International Communication Department, Ministry of Sport. Hello, thank you. Mr. Fahad Al-Subai, Director of the Clubs Investment Department, Ministry of Sport. And Mr. Bassem Ibrahim, Sports Segment Director, Ministry of Investment. Hello and welcome. Nice to see you again. So, hello, Mr. Bassem. How are you?
Good.
Welcome. So the next panel session is about the Giga and Mega Projects, Ambition and Innovations across the Kingdom. And I'd like to start first with Mr. Magram. So it's really difficult to imagine a sporting event with the same resonance of a football World Cup, for example. I think of the Olympics, no? But which will be the axis of the Ministry of Sports communication strategy for this occasion?
Well, I think this is a very important question for one reason. Why we are hosting all these events, why we have a strategy for the sports sector. In the past, the Saudi was traveling abroad. They are spending billions overseas. And to keep the Saudis enjoying their time and to enhance the quality of life, we should have a strategy in place. And this is what we did. In fact, in Saudi Arabia, the sky's the limit. And this is what we do in the Ministry of Sport. At the end of the day, it's about our people. It's about the next generation. It's about the next generation also of the athletes. And this is what we do. So if we talk about the community participation in sport, we used to have only 14.9% in 2017. And Vision 2030 target is to reach 40%. But guess what? We reach this year 58% of our community. They are actively participating in sport weekly. This showcase why the Ministry of Sport is hosting all these events, why we have a strategy in place, and why we are investing in our people. So if we talk also about the women participation in sport, the increase is 150%. And this showcase our commitments and the women empowerment that is in place in Saudi Arabia. And this is just the beginning.
Can you give me a bit more of a deep dive on the role of women and girls in football in Saudi, please?
So if we talk only about the girls' league, which we have the girl school league, we have over 70,000 girls. They are participating in this league.
Incredible.
If we talk about tennis, we are aiming to attract 1 million people to tennis by 2030. If we talk about women in leadership in Saudi Arabia, today we have 30% of women. They filled a leadership position. We have the vice minister in the Ministry of Sport, Adwa Al-Arifi. We have many presidents in the federation. In fact, if we talk only about the federation in general, we used to have only 32 federation, 32. But today we have 97 federation. The increase is 200%. I believe this is a testament about the effort that it is happening by the Ministry of Sport and the federation. And before all of this, and more importantly, the support that we have from the leadership.
Exactly. And one last question. How do you see the Italian Supercup helping your strategy and all this?
Well, I mean, we are a football nation. And as you know, 80% of our community, they are either playing or watching sport. So it is not the first Super Cup that we host, and it will not be the last.
The last year.
And we have a lot of leagues and a lot of events that we are planning to host. In fact, if we are talking only about the international events, since 2018, we hosted over 118 international events attended by 2.8 million people from 132 nationalities. This showcase that Saudi Arabia is the perfect place to host international and global events.
Thank you so much. Now I have a question for Fahad. So you are the director of Club Investment Department, and we know that all eyes are on this country for hosting really all these major events. And how is the Ministry of Sport preparing itself to unlock investment opportunities in this sector?
So investments, let's talk business now. Now, I think when we talk about the investments and the aim is to be sustainable, and the only way to be sustained is to involve the private sector. So the ministry is actively working.
Can you just keep the mic a bit closer? Thank you.
The ministry is working to unlock the club investments opportunity, and we have identified 12 investments priority, such as private clubs, academies, indoor-outdoor facilities, and sponsorship packages, and data and sport technology. And we have noticed a great results over the past years. Since the launch of NAFIS, we have reached more than 3,000 licenses, 250 private clubs, 600 academies, and more than 2,500 in sport facilities. And the ministry as well have capitalized on the assets itself and launched the privatization program to engage the public and the fan and to maximize the commercial value and as well to promote the sport as well.
And what is the Ministry of Sport doing to enable the sector to attract more and more investments?
Definitely. The ministry is working actively to unlock the investment opportunity. For example, in sports club, the ministry automated and governance the procedures of the investment. And as a result of that, we increased the transparency and promote integrity. And we have reached only in 2024 more than 360 sponsorship requests. And the club's commercial value for the sponsorship reached more than 1.4 million in a yearly basis. And we're expecting a growth of 8% per year. On the other hand, we have more than 80 opportunity worth 700 million as a value of those contracts. And we're working this year as well on 80 opportunity in sponsorship and more than 70 opportunity in assets related to the clubs. And at the same time, we're working to generate new 3 products for the clubs in order to make the clubs more sustainable and improve the game as well and the performance.
Yeah, thank you. And now I have a question for Mr. Bassem. So you are the Sports Segment Director, Ministry of Investment. So what are the key targets and your wish list of sports investments in Saudi Arabia? If you can share your opinion on that.
Thank you, and thank you for having us with you today. It's a pleasure. The relationship between Saudi and Italy has been always great in the industry of sport and especially football. I think the most success stories in sport and investment is between Saudi Arabia and Italy in particular. We haven't seen other countries doing the same thing we're doing with Italy. But I think today, if you look at the sport, it's not an entertainment anymore. It's not just doing exercise. It's not just fun. It's more of an industry today. It's a sector by itself.
Yeah.
We're talking about technology in sport. We're talking about manufacturing in sport. We're talking about multiple segments. So if you ask me a question, or if you ask me this question 2 years ago, I wouldn't have an accurate answer. But today, we know that we have 17 segments under the sports sector that we're focusing on, core businesses, support businesses, and wider range than that. We have specific targets. We have calculations of market size and other things around the market size, how much of the private sector contribution should be there. So I think today we are going more toward the private sector, and we're asking them to contribute more in the sport industry. And I think we have the last amount we have calculated was almost 20 billion riyals. That's almost 5 billion euros. And sport has been always a great sector for the Saudis, just like education and healthcare. Education and healthcare in Saudi will always remain for free. So sport is the same. The government has done a lot for sports in this country. The government has built stadiums, facilities. The whole sector is backed up by the government sector. So I think today there is a huge opportunity for the private sector to join. And I think maybe not many of you know this, but we already have Juventus Academy in Khobar. It's one of the greatest success stories. Inter Milan as well, they took their license a few months ago. They are willing to establish their academy. And we're working more with AC Milan and the other clubs as well. So this is an invitation for all the Italian companies and the Italian clubs to explore this journey with us. All eyes will be in Saudi Arabia for the next 10 years and maybe more. The World Cup will be here. So there is absolutely nowhere else that you will see more hot than Saudi Arabian sport.
Definitely, I would say the same. One last question is about the investment, how you attract investment in sports, considering the words in global sport companies actually and their reaction to come to Saudi Arabia.
Attracting investment in a country is not an easy job, and that's what keeps us busy every day and having lack of sleep. But it's a long process. There are very important key elements for any investment attraction process. We need to win the trust of the investors. We need to make sure that they love our country, they trust us, they know all the procedures, they know how easy is doing business in Saudi. For me personally, when I talk to any company or when my team talks to a company, we imagine ourselves investing in Italy or in India, or what are the key things that the investors should know. So if you have a very transparent environment and a nice ease of doing business and clear opportunities with clear paths and great calculations of the return of investment, and you're working with a trusted partners, just like Ministry of Sport, and you have enablers around you, then the mission could be simpler and easier. But again, it's a long process. It takes us months, sometimes years, to convince companies and to convince, for example, clubs to establish academies here or to open up new gyms or new concepts in the kingdom. Above all, we work with a very strong range of stakeholders. Ministry of Sport is the regulator of this industry and of this sector, and they're doing a lot with us. The federations, there are other key stakeholders, the PIF, Saudi Aramco, and the companies owned by the federations. They are all enabling us, the Giga Projects as well. So it's very important to have this harmony, to have this collaboration between everyone. We talk to each other on a daily basis, and that's what makes all the companies and the investors who visit Saudi, it makes them happy, it gives them confidence and trust, and they see it in us and they see how much we're working together, so they trust us and they invest.
Exactly. When you have passion, competence, professionalism, and a clear vision in front of you, things are a little easier, right? And then you work all together to make it happen, which is what Saudi is really doing. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with us today. It was a great pleasure to have you on this panel session. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, for the last panel session, I would like to invite on stage Michele Ciccarese, Marketing Director of Lega Serie A, who will be conducting the panel session. So I will hand over to Michele the moderation role. Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Salam alaikum. Buongiorno. It's a pleasure being here. It's a pleasure being here again for the 5th time with the Lega Serie A and the Italian Supercup. So in this panel, we are inviting not only the 2 finalist club, so I will be more than happy to invite, first of all, Giorgio Ricci, the Chief Revenue Officer of FC Internazionale Milano. Michael Ottel, the Chief Commercial Officer of AC Milan. Francesco Calvo, the Managing Director Revenues of Juventus. And one of our legends who has worn in the past all the 4 shirts of the 4 clubs who qualified to the Super Cup, who are AC Milan, Inter, Juve and Atalanta, our legend Christian Vieri. Ciao Bobo, marhaba.
Good morning.
So, we've listened to great words, we've listened to great panel. It's great to see how this forum is growing itself, because it's the 3rd time, thanks to Gianfilippo, the Social Football Summit team, and everyone, that we see a packed room, which was exactly the objective, to generate dialogue, potential business, projects together, and we have seen how the Super Cup is growing, and we are very happy to how our partners in Saudi Arabia, and the Ministry of Sports, and the Ministry of Investment in SELA are welcoming us every year in the best way. So why we are here with the first element is that sharing the stage, not alone and not individually, I think is the real key of how Serie A is growing. In the past, Serie A used to focus a little bit too much on the domestic rights, too much on the domestic area, and now everything that we do has an eye abroad. We are working together, and if we are here today sharing the stage with the three biggest clubs in terms of fan base of Serie A, Milan, Inter, Juventus, is already a proof of how we are working as collective, how we are working as an orchestra, and not only a violinist, which is what happened in the past. Before we start in sharing the ideas and the project that we are having with all the club, I would like to show you one video of what we are doing with the Italian government to promote Serie A in all over the world through the beauties of our countries, through the Made in Italy, which is, I think, the best way to promote our league, not only through football, but through our country itself. So if please, we can start with the Made in Italy video. Thank you.
Italy, it's like my home. Roma es mágica.
Milano, one of the best cities in the world.
La ciudad de Monza tiene cosas muy bonitas y creo que Monza es un sitio donde nunca te cansarás de averiguar cosas nuevas.
Comme j'ai grandi en Italie, c'est vrai que j'ai plein d'habitudes italiennes. J'ai grandi avec la culture italienne.
Talent is important, but if you work hard, everything will be good.
Every time we talk about calcio, every time we talk about Serie A and Italy, it's all the clubs are well known in all over the world, but when you talk about, and thanks to the collaboration with all our broadcasters all over the world, with about our games, if you talk through the broadcaster, through the beauty of our country, it's what makes the real difference. And it's what the audience is looking for listening, because we were looking at the data the other day, and we see that there are a lot of fans of Italian football. Yes, in 38 million of people in Saudi Arabia, we have more than 30 million of football fans, but we have also 30 million people who would like to travel and discover Italy. So if we speak calcio through the beauty of our country is what makes the difference. And I have to thank all the clubs for the collaboration, because if you have seen Vlahovic, Leao, or Thuram inside this video, it's thanks to the collaboration of the team that is here today in the stage, that is working with our editorial team together. And this is only the step one, to create a bridge and to generate value along with our project abroad. And the Saudi Pro League is one of our great friends and partners, and we are working a lot with them. Now, why we are here in Saudi Arabia and what we are doing, I will be happy to start through the champion of Scudetto last year in Serie A, and I will give the word to Giorgio Ricci in FC Internazionale Milano.
Thank you, Michele. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure being here with you today. So, first of all, thank you to the government representative, all the authorities, Lega, for inviting us, and most of all to all the Saudi people for the warm welcome that we are getting in these days. You're really making us feel home. Every day we stay here with your warm welcome and for everything. So it's a real pleasure. The second pleasure is being here, sharing the stage with the friends, with the people, doing my same job, working for the same scope. And so working in order to contribute to the globalization of the Italian football all over the world, and especially coming to this country, trying to find the right match with the goal of the country. And so the vision of the country, the 2030 vision, and how as Italian football we can contribute in this vision. I think a couple of words are really key to summarize our view and our approach coming to our presence here. One is, as Michele was saying, is the consistency. Because of course, being for the third year in a row, playing the final, so having the opportunity to play the final, being here, getting in contact with the local fan, with our local fan base, having the chance to activating through our fan clubs, our academies, and whatever, it's great because it gives to our project a huge consistency that's really important. The other key word is the concreteness, because on the other hand, consistency is not enough. So you need also to combine the opportunity to give concreteness to our project. And so that's why I recently joined the club, but I mean, over the last few months, the club got the authorization to operate in the country with the MICA license. That's a great step towards a concrete contribution with our activities within the country. So we're really excited of being here again. We're working on several projects from academy. We newly and recently announced one new opening in Jeddah. We are in the view of announcing some first collaboration with companies here. So it's a great honor being here with a clear view, with a clear path, and we're looking forward to further establish and, of course, why not coming back in the next coming years.
Grazie Giorgio. Thank you Giorgio for the kind word and welcome back to Serie A. You just joined again FC Inter in the recent weeks. Now we move to the other finalist of tonight. Everyone, the crowd is all waiting for the game tonight. We have seen a very strong and organic fan base during the last semi-final. So I'm more than happy to welcome here Michael Ottel of AC Milan and tell us what's happening, what are the projects in place for AC Milan to engage at the best the fan base here in Saudi Arabia with consistency and concreteness as the two keywords that Giorgio just said.
Thanks, Michele. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I also want to thank Lega. I want to thank all the authorities, the Social Football Summit, for allowing us to be here and to giving us such a warm welcome. Unfortunately, a little bit less consistent than my counterpart on the right. We took a year break from coming here, but it's fantastic to be back here after 2 years. The thing that strikes me always when you come to the region, and we are here quite a lot, is the enthusiasm, the warmth of the people, and it's very refreshing, especially right now. If in Italy people are not so warm to us right now, but in Saudi Arabia they really are, which is really great to see. Look, the Middle East as a wider region has always been extremely important for us as a club. We established an office in Dubai, in the UAE, about 1 year ago. We have a very long-standing partnership with Emirates that supported us in good and in the bad times since 2007. And, the subject of this panel is globalization process in football, and it's a funny thing, right? Because globalization means that you need to adapt to individual markets that are fundamentally different in terms of culture, in terms of how they approach commercial, how they see the world. And for us, it's very important that we see ourselves as a global brand, but at the same time, we are very much aware that our roots are in Italy. And that's why we have a global approach, but we want to act very locally. We are the fastest growing brand in Italy right now in the US. We have more than 5 million fans here in Saudi Arabia. And clearly from a cultural perspective, from a commercial perspective, both territories, I don't even want to mention Europe and Italy, are fundamentally different. So for us, the key focus is obviously be relevant, and relevance comes through consistency and concreteness, but also by having the finger on the pulse of each territory and each market, engaging with the fans, investing in academies, servicing the partners in the region, not just from our headquarters from Milan, but also locally. And this is really the key of our strategy, focusing on the territories where we see the biggest fan growth, which the Middle East and Saudi Arabia is one of them, and making sure that we serve the market with what it needs, whilst at the same time trying to keep a global view and staying true to our roots in Italy.
Dankeschön. Thank you, Michael. So let's move forward. I'm very happy that we are speeding up the process, and it's going to be a very, we are absolutely on time in our panel today. And now I will give the word to Francesco Calvo of the Juventus Football Club, who unfortunately is not part of the final, but is the club that has won the most Scudetto and Supercoppa in the past. So, Francesco, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Michele, and thank you very much to everybody. One negative effect of not being in the final is that, speaking third, I will repeat everything I said before. So now I have an additional challenge in not repeating everything. I do believe that the globalization process of football is extremely important for every football club and for us as well. I do believe European football will have a lot of challenges in growing more. In order to grow, we added more competitions. We expanded Champions League. There's been created the FIFA Club World Cup, which are very positive events, but there is no room for growth anymore for European football. So in 2019, Juventus opened an office in Hong Kong to look over Asia and to try to understand what was the need of Asia, APAC region, for Italian football. And we've been working on that very successfully. And now we have an office with, we started with one person in 2019. We have 8 people now in the office. And the same now we will do with Saudi, with the Middle East region and with Saudi specifically. Because we do believe investments are here, the growth of football will be here, the passion of football will be here. So at Juventus, we are very focused in understanding what positive impact, if any, because we don't give for granted we can have a positive impact, but we want to understand if there can be one, we can have here in this country. It's extremely important for us to understand if we can play a role in developing youth football, clearly not only through commercial academies, but also in partnership with local clubs, because World Cup 2034 is tomorrow morning almost, and we need to understand altogether if European clubs, I'm not talking only about Juventus, clearly Juventus in our case can have an impact, can support the development of youth football and can support the promotion of the country. Let's say you have a country that the population will travel abroad in the coming years, is already traveling abroad, and tourism is coming here. So what's the role that football as a sport and clubs can have in the country is extremely important for us to understand. I have to be honest, we don't have the answers, or we don't have all the answers we would like to have, but coming here and experiencing Saudi and Riyadh specifically, and having the chance to talk with so many of you in these days is extremely important for us to learn and understand what to do in the future and in the near future.
Grazie, Francesco. Yeah, and what Francesco just said, I think is the key. So coming here, being consistent is what allows us to discover a country, to discover some news, to come back in Italy and say to our friends and family what we are seeing and how the country is growing and how it can be our touristic destination for the family or for leisure. And that's why I want to ask to someone who has written the history of Italian football, scoring just few goals, it's how you, Bobo, have seen this country growing, because you have been here several times today. Right now, and so we would like all to listen to your feedback.
Good morning, everyone. First thing, I want to go to Alula. I've been telling Michele for the last 6 months that the Lega has to bring us to Alula. We have to go see the Red Sea. I posted I think a month ago, a photo of the Red Sea. So I think that in the next few months, 6 months, we're going to be going there. I think that for the Italian league to come here is very important. Saudi is a very, very big market. Like Michele said, we have the 3 biggest teams in Italy. Fan base is enormous. And I think Italian football is coming back again. We had a period of 10, 15 years. We were so-and-so, but I think now the budgets aren't big like they used to be 20 years ago. So the teams, I think they're working better with the scouting, the young coaches. And I think the last 3, 4 years, the Italian teams have done very well in Italy and in Europe. Inter played finals of Champions League. Roma did 2 finals in a row, of 1 in Europe or 1 in Conference. Fiorentina, the same. Atalanta won the Europa League last year. So I think that the Italian teams are coming back again. So I think it's very important to come here every year to show our football, to show our clubs. And I think that we can do a very good job with the Saudis.
Grazie, Bobo. So, yeah, the words of Bobo are exactly what we need to go to the second session of this panel. Yes, it's true. We had 10 or 15 years of a little bit of sleeping, but we are back again. Last year, we were first in the UEFA ranking. That's why we have 5 clubs competing in the Champions League. 2 clubs in Europa, in Europa League, and 1 club in Conference League, which is exactly the proof of how calcio is coming back and is growing. So as you say in Arabic, if I'm not mistaken, is kil takhira fi akhira, which means every delay is a blessing. So we are back, and that's exactly what we are doing with the clubs today. Going to the second session, the president in this speech at the beginning of the panel said, which is always important now to work, and next year to show you what we have done, which I think is the key of how we are doing these business forums. I just want to show you what we are doing and what we have already done in this region with a real project that is involving Serie A, all the clubs, and I will start showing the video of Unstoppable, a new TV show and series produced by Serie A along with our broadcaster and partner, Starts Play.
برنامج Unstoppable الحلم الإيطالي هو فرصة استثنائية للشباب اللي موهوبة عشان يحققوا أحلامهم. 4 بلدان، 24 متسابق في كل بلد، فايز واحد بس هيحصل على فرصة تدريب مع أحد أندية السيري A.
I think that this show is the chance of the lifetime of the kids.
لجنة الحكام بتتكون من عضوين ثابتين معانا، لوكا أنتونيني، كريستيان بانوتشي.
I'm looking for the quality, the technique also and the character.
ومع بانوتشي وأنتونيني يكون معانا حكم ضيف بيكون لاعب مشهور وبيتغير في كل بلد.
أعتقد وجودي هنا في البرنامج أقل دعم أقدر أقدمه.
I'm here today to see other young people reach their dream.
هذا البرنامج فرصة في الأحلام لأن سيريا دوري جدا قوي.
البرنامج ده فرصة ليك إن أنت توصل لحلمك.
I decided to be here to find a new talent for the Serie A.
فايز هيروح على السيريا A.
Serie A is the most important league in the world, and I think it's a very great opportunity for this young player.
رحلة Unstoppable الحلم الإيطالي رحلة مثيرة مليانة تحديات.
مش كمل.
So the show is in 6 episodes, is already started, is already online. What we have been doing is to go beyond the only licensing of the media rights. You can give the media rights to all the broadcasters and show the game, but if you create a project that allows young kids in Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Egypt, United Arab Emirates like this, is exactly what can make Serie A embracing the culture, which is the real difference in terms of creating real projects, involve local partners, and show to the world what we are doing in our project along with our clubs. So for this session, what is happening now is that 2 kids, and I have to thank all the clubs who are taking care and that have given the possibility to welcome 1 kid from the region to come and stay with us in Italy from March for 3 months. 2 kids, one is from Egypt, the second one is from India, but born and raised in UAE, are coming to Italy. And a lot of clubs gave their open doors to welcome in order to create content for season 2. I have to thank also Udinese Football Club. Here is Magda Pozzo from Udinese, and Udinese has been part of this project, welcoming and giving all the rights to make this happen. But here on the stage, and this time I will start Giorgio from Michael, because AC Milan is welcoming one of the 2 guys from March in Vismara, which is where the Primavera of AC Milan is training, and he will have the opportunity to train for 3 months along with the young team. So this goes exactly along with what we heard in the second panel from the Saudi Pro League and the Saudi Federation about how it's important to grow the grassroots in order to have the best World Cup in 34. Michael, over to you.
Thanks, Michele. I want to apologize for blocking the screen, and I would love to say it was an amazing video, but I saw only half of it, and I got a bit dizzy turning my head. No, but I think these are exactly the initiatives that that we need to do. You know, we can talk a lot about big commercial opportunities for football clubs and opening offices, but at the end of the day, you know, this is what I said earlier, that local touch, finding that local talent and collaborating with young people on a grassroots level in each market is extremely important. Look, I'm German, I'm not Italian, I'm the only non-Italian on this panel, and I still managed to survive in Italy.
You've done well now, come on.
No, but the reason I have a strong affinity for Italian football is because in the 90s, a lot of, this is not grassroots level, but a lot of German talent moved into Serie A and was very successful in Serie A, even though they played mainly for the wrong team. But that just shows you that, you know, in Germany there's a huge appreciation for Serie A, and a lot of that was driven by these guys that went to Italy in the 90s and later on. And look, if we can be part of something to help the grassroots development in Saudi Arabia and at the same time maybe discover one or the other talent that maybe plays for Milan or Inter or Juve or any other team, I think that would be a massive success, not just for Serie A, but for the collaboration between Italy and Saudi Arabia. So big fan of these initiatives. I think it's fantastic. And I hope a big talent comes out of that for at least one of us here that are sitting on the panel. And I think it's great.
Grazie, Michael. So one talent from Saudi is already in Serie A. Saud is playing in Roma Football Club. I see the ambassador a little bit happy today because yesterday there was a derby in Roma Lazio. But yes, as Michael said, is important not only to talk and blabbing, but make project happen, which is exactly what we are doing. Step by step, along and in collaboration, of course, with all the embassies that are of Italy all over the world, along with the Italian Trade Agency, which is always helping us in all the projects. I see Romano Baruzzi from the Italian Trade Agency here in Riyadh. But yes, this is the project that we need to grow. This is the project that we need to generate and create. So what's next for Inter, Giorgio, in terms of, again, project happening in this region? And I know that Inter is cooking something. You cannot disclose everything, but you are very, very busy right now.
Yeah, of course, we're very busy. Being here, as I was saying, is a very good occasion in order to speed up the projects that we are running in the area. What we have seen basically is again a witnessing of everything is around authenticity, everything is around consistency. And so also the fact that nowadays global football clubs are speaking a language that is much wider and stretched towards the entertainment, the lifestyle world and whatever. But we have not to forget that the authenticity is important, and especially in a country in which we are, coming frequently every year since at least the last 3. It's really important to add the most important thing that we can offer and we can put on the table. And so our way of doing football. And so teaching football is really important. I think that grassroots and academies project, as well as collaboration with local club on training ways, training methods, players, and grassroots are key in order to establish a useful relation and try to find a way to really contribute to the growth of the system here. So that's why we are recently announced the opening of a new academy, Inter Academy in Jeddah, but it's just part of the development project. We are sending here our head coach of the academy in the next coming weeks to start up the activities, to start training the local coaches, selecting the coaches. So, that's really important. And then on the other end, it's football on one end, but it's also content. And so also the fact that we have here the opportunity, and for the very first time, we are opening our behind the scene to produce content around the team, the experience of the team here. So we are telling what the team is doing, how the team is feeling and living this experience this time. And we would like to mix this with the local culture, with the local, feeling, atmosphere, opportunities, the beauty of the country. And so I think also the way of creating new content will be really key in order to find a way to succeed in growing together.
Grazie, Giorgio. Yeah, so Giorgio can't say much, but I've seen cameras everywhere. So if you go to see the inter-training or everything, you have much more than the normal cameras that you have because there is a lot of work happening in the behind the scene and in the way to show and create content for the social media platform and for all our content in TV. Francesco, I started saying that the proof of this stage today, the real outcome for us in Serie A, is that is the difference between an orchestra and violinist. So in the past we have been very much violinist, so each club was working by himself. Now we are finally working all together, creating projects like the one that we have seen now. You have been around the Serie A assembly for quite a lot now, Francesco, so I think that you can really witness what is happening and if there is a change, which is exactly the objective and why we are here sharing this stage.
No, I was actually thinking when Michael and Giorgio were talking that while we strongly disagree among Inter, Juventus and AC Milan on the pitch, we absolutely agree on everything off the pitch. And so the question is very welcome because that's the proof that Italian football is changing and the dynamics also of Serie A are changing. We have here a new chairman which we welcome and we are very happy about his election and his presence here. The proof of this forum, the way the Supercup has been organized in the past years, last year and this year, there is really a step forward by Serie A because the management of Serie A, which I thank once again, and the clubs are really working together to promote Italian football. We've been at the best football for many years, and then we probably slept a bit too much, or we just look at ourselves too much in the mirror. And now we are waking up. We woke up, and we are really working hard to recover the lost ground. And we know very well that yes, Inter can go to the final of Champions League, Juventus, AC Milan, we can perform very well, but that's not enough if there is not a collective effort. And the collective effort is what we are doing here in these days, what we are doing here today, because it's only all together that we can promote Italian football and we can offer experiences, entertainment, and more than anything, emotions. That's what we work for.
Thank you. Thank you even for the kind word.
More important than anything, his request to go to Alula. That's
Okay,
I would like to endorse to make sure you don't forget
we
about it.
underline this, but it's not the only one. Yeah?
This is
I
a
can
team
see
effort.
even other
Very
relevant
soon.
people in Serie A have
Very
asked it.
soon, please. Very soon. We have to go. Let's not wait too much.
Bobo, just to close with you before the last video, which is only a teaser for tonight. You've been part of that show. You've been in the desert shooting.
It was 75 degrees. Very hot.
So, what's the experience and how you were looking at the young talent in the region, and what's your feedback about that?
No, it was fun. Like I said, it was very, very hot. There was no umbrellas, but it was okay. No, we had fun. Like the football is the biggest sport in the world, and all the kids are crazy for football. So I think that it's important to give them a chance to come play in Italy. I was speaking with Di Biagio, Luigi. He's the under-21 coach of Saudi Arabia, okay?
The national team.
Yeah, he told me that there's 6, 7 really, really, really big players. So I think the Italian teams should start watching the under-21 Saudi Arabia team because Di Biagio said there's going to be a lot of players. And I think that in the near future, a lot of players from Saudi are going to be coming to Italy. So I think that it's very important to give the Saudi players all over the world, a chance to come to Italy.
Great. Thank you, Bobo. So, we are ending this panel. Thank you, everyone. But before ending, I just want to show you the effort that all the Serie A team has put in place in terms of TV production, the new drones, the new cameras, the new approach of broadcasting the video, broadcasting the game. And yes, the final video of the 2 semi-final wrap-up before we lead to the derby of Milano tonight. So, leading to the final tonight, best of luck for the two clubs involved in this final. It's great to be here again, and I have to thank, of course, not only the Ministry of Sports, SELA is our partner, the Ministry of Investment, and all our partners here in Saudi Arabia, but also all the partners and sponsors of Serie A, who are all here, and a lot of passports from Italy have been through the airport in these days, which is all absolutely our objective, and we are working with the ambassador and the embassy to make it grow for the next edition as well. Grazie mille, shukran everyone.
Thank you very much, Michele. Thank you very much, everyone, esteemed guests, excellencies. Thank you for being with us today. It was great to see how the two countries, Italy and Saudi Arabia, are collaborating together, and we cannot really wait to see what the future unfolds. For all the guests of the Social Football Summit, there is a business lunch. If you want to attend, it's just outside at Carbone Restaurant. You go out and you turn left. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day and the match tonight. Thank you. Bye.